In today's video, we are recapping a 2017 sci-fi action movie, titled Geostorm. Spoilers ahead, watch out and enjoy. The movie takes place in the year 2019 when climate change was at its worst. The world has changed drastically due to changes in the oceans, higher temperatures on the Earth's surface, and melting polar ice. To address the devastating storms, world leaders, led by the US, came together after several cities were lost. They developed a solution called Dutch Boy, which involves a network of thousands of satellites. These satellites work to neutralize the storms by using countermeasures that affect the basic elements of weather. The project is funded by the United Nations. The mastermind behind Dutch Boy is Jake Lawson, who not only designed it but also leads the team of scientists responsible for its success. However, things take a bad turn when Jake gets into trouble for punching a federal inspector and bringing Dutch Boy online without authorization. He is called to a disciplinary hearing by a subcommittee of the US Senate. The US government decides to take control of Dutch Boy, but Jake believes that the project should not be owned by any one country. Due to the incident and his refusal to hand over control, Jake is fired from his position, and the officials hire his younger brother Max to replace him. What's even more hurtful for Jake is that Max was aware of the plan to remove him, and even assisted in it. This betrayal leaves Jake furious, and he swears to never forgive Max. 3 years later, a United Nations team stationed in Afghanistan detects unusual readings on their scanners. They decide to investigate a nearby village, and are horrified to find the entire place frozen, with everyone dead. They quickly report the situation to the US government, leading to a meeting to discuss the alarming incident. Outside the meeting hall, Max encounters his fiancée, Sarah Wilson, who is a US Secret Service agent. During the meeting, officials claim that the problem occurred due to a malfunction in the Afghan satellite connected to Dutch Boy. Max suggests sending an engineer to the International Space Station to report the issue directly to the US, ensuring that such a catastrophe won't happen again. The US Secretary of State, Leonard Deckham, asks Max to involve Jake in this matter, because he is the one who knows Dutch Boy inside out, and can address the problem effectively. In the space station, the scientists and astronauts replace the problematic Afghan satellite. One astronaut is assigned to examine the data from the old satellite to identify the issue. However, he hides the data after being instructed to do so by someone unknown. While entering an airlock, he gets trapped inside and the windows break, sending him floating into space. Back on Earth, Jake has been living in Florida after his divorce, and his daughter Hannah visits him every weekend. Jake doesn't want to see Max and tries to send him away. However, Max convinces him to return to the project, after informing him about the Afghanistan incident. Meanwhile, at the Climate Council headquarters in Hong Kong, China, a supervisor named Chang Long is working in his office. The temperature is scorching hot, and he decides to get some water and eggs from a nearby grocery store. On his way back, he accidentally drops the eggs on the road, and they cook instantly due to the extreme heat. Suddenly, an earthquake strikes, causing the ground to spew hot lava, and chaos ensues as people try to save themselves. Meanwhile, Jake embarks on his journey to the International Space Station after 3 years. The chief scientist and station commander, Fassbender, warmly welcomes him and introduces him to the rest of the crew. Back on Earth, Chang contacts Max and reveals that he cannot access China's Dutch Boy database. He suspects that someone is intentionally blocking them from discovering the true reason behind the sudden rise in temperature. Max attempts to log in as well, but his access is also denied, confirming that their database has been hacked. Chang's revelation about a potential geostorm terrifies Max and the team. A complete system failure of Dutch Boy could lead to a catastrophic geostorm, causing devastating weather events worldwide simultaneously. In response to the alarming situation, Max seeks the help of a cybersecurity expert named Dana. She quickly investigates the database and discovers that someone has hacked into the mainframe, deliberately deleting critical weather information. On the space station, Jake and his team meticulously review the video footage of the airlock malfunction. They make a crucial discovery, that a drive had become stuck to the communication tower during the accident. Jake and Fassbender decide to conduct a spacewalk to retrieve the drive. They successfully retrieve it, but Jake becomes suspicious of the rest of the crew, and chooses not to disclose their findings. In secret, Jake and Fassbender access the database and uncover alarming information. They learn that the satellites were intentionally programmed to malfunction over Hong Kong and Afghanistan. As the events unfold, Chang travels to the US to meet Max, but he is attacked and seriously injured by a stranger. Before he passes away, Chang manages to reveal something crucial to Max about a project called Zeus. Jake shares the information about the space station situation with Max, and suspects that someone at the highest level of government might be involved in the satellite malfunctions. Max and Dana work together to investigate the project named Zeus in the mainframe. They uncover disturbing evidence that someone is using Dutch Boy as a weapon to target specific cities. Following that, Max makes a video call to Jake, to inform him that someone is weaponizing the Dutch Boy to attack specific cities, and Jake thinks that they are doing so via the virus. Jake tells him that the only way to stop this threat is to reboot Dutch Boy, which would destroy the virus. However, to do this, they need the president's credentials, and they are uncertain whom to trust. Amidst the escalating chaos, Jake receives reports of 200 satellite malfunctions, and a devastating hailstorm in Japan claims the lives of hundreds of people. In Brazil, the temperature drops drastically, causing the oceans to freeze, and killing people on the beaches. An urgent warning comes in about an impending geostorm, which will hit in 1.5 hours. As a safety measure, the station activates a self-destruction protocol, forcing all scientists to evacuate and save their lives. During this critical moment, Jake uncovers the shocking truth, that one of his own teammates is responsible for inserting the virus into Dutch Boy's system. A confrontation ensues between Jake and Duncan, leading to a fierce fight. The violent encounter ends tragically when Duncan is sucked out into space through a broken window. As Max attends a presidential speech, he is approached by Leonard, the Secretary of State, who notices something is amiss. Max decides to come clean, and reveals everything about the president's involvement in using Dutch Boy as a weapon. Leonard, feigning curiosity, asks Max about Project Zeus, which surprises Max since he never mentioned the project to Leonard before. In a shocking twist, it is revealed that Leonard is the mastermind behind all the satellite malfunctions. He orchestrated the plan to blame the Dutch Boy malfunction on the current president to take his position. Realizing the danger he is in, Max narrowly escapes Leonard's attempt to kill him and seeks the help of Agent Sarah. In the following scene, Max and Sarah create a diversion by causing a shootout, diverting the attention of the guards. They take advantage of the chaos to take the president away safely. As Max, Sarah, and the president race against time, extreme weather conditions continue to wreak havoc across the globe. Massive tornadoes hit Mumbai, while a deadly heat wave strikes Russia, causing hundreds of casualties. Back on the space station, the rest of the crew boards a shuttle to return to Earth, leaving Jake and Fassbinder behind to manually reboot the Dutch Boy program. With the president's biometrics in hand, Max and Sarah bring him to the mission control headquarters. The president provides his biometrics, and expresses gratitude to Jake for his sacrifice during a video call. Working against the clock, Jake and Fassbinder successfully manage to reboot the Dutch Boy system. Miraculously, all the natural calamities around the world subside within moments. The planet is saved from the brink of catastrophe. However, Jake and Fassbinder find themselves on the space station, which is now set to self-destruct. Jake and Fassbinder manage to board an old satellite that launches into space without a specific destination. Fortunately, a vigilant scientist from Mission Control spots their satellite, and promptly sends a shuttle to rescue them. The shuttle successfully docks with their satellite, and they all return to Earth, safely escaping the imminent danger. 6 months later, Jake is reappointed to manage the newly built space station, and he and Max have repaired their relationship, both as brothers and co-workers. The movie concludes with a heartwarming narration by Jake's daughter, Hannah. She reflects that as long as humans remember the importance of sharing a common future, there is hope for survival and prosperity.